On August 3rd, 2016, I was contacted by an individual who I know who said he had information that I might be interested in as it related to the sheriff's office and my campaign. He asked for nothing in return for the information, and nothing was offered. On August 9th, 2016, I met with this individual and received physical information in the form of an electronic file that had over 2,000 documents, most of which were inter-office emails, sheriff's office inter-office emails. He further informed me that there would be instances of wrongdoing and misconduct on the zip drive, and told me that he had first-hand knowledge of other instances not documented necessarily by documents or emails. Upon review of the jump drive, I was immediately aware that there were correspondences, inter-office emails that I was reading that were referenced many different instances of unethical behavior, up to and including misconduct in office by the current Sheriff Chuck Wright and some persons within his administration. The wrongdoings were for occurrences ranging from disregarding procurement ordinances, violation of county regulations, to accepting gifts and benefits which appear to be outside the parameters of the ethics laws. I absolutely felt the transgressions that I observed were actually unlawful. So I took a copy of the jump drive to the Columbia office of the FBI on August 15th. I was interviewed and talked with an agent for about 2 hours to the FBI regarding my knowledge of the information, which is limited on the most part to what I had read in some of the people involved. In addition, I relayed to the FBI that the person who gave me the jump drive or zip drive had agreed to fully cooperate with authorities in the investigation into the allegations of misconduct in office. The FBI gave me no further details as to their intent, nor did they give me any type of timeline, but I'm certain we have not heard of the last of this matter from them. Since my press release on August 15th, I have been attacked by supporters of the sheriff for coming forward with this information, assuming it was unvalidated. All I can say to them is this, is that I am sorry for all of you who have been lied to by the sheriff and led to believe that he has behaved in private as he speaks in public, but that's just not the case. The emails and documents I gave to the FBI are evidence of many unscrupulous behaviors by the Sheriff Wright and some of his staff. Some of those cases would be, on several occasions, Sheriff Wright made purchases of items which cost over $1,000. Purchases of this nature and this amount requires obtaining bids prior to making the purchases. Emails between the staff members revealed that on several occasions, Sheriff Wright would buy an item and one of his supervisors would then ask deputies who work with procurements to get post-dated bids. This is a direct violation of the procurement procedures. In regards to purchasing items over $1,000, emails also indicate that it may have been common practice to have vendors break the total amounts of unlawful purchases into smaller amounts and put them on multiple invoices to circumvent the purchasing procedures and or cover up costly purchases. There is an incident where Sheriff Wright sold, apparently, a Glock 23 pistol from the Sheriff's Office Armory, county property, to a private citizen. The pistol was later retrieved from this citizen and was returned to inventory. However, the Sheriff's Office then gave the same citizen authorization on letterhead to go to the South Carolina bid holder or vendor for Glock, Craig's Firearms in Columbia, and purchase the exact same weapon, a Glock 23 pistol, at law enforcement state contract pricing. This is problematic on numerous levels and violates several regulations and protocols. Several Sheriff's Office staff members had knowledge and or were involved with this incident. In another incident, Sheriff Wright took a considerable amount of ammunition which had been donated to the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office by a local company. The ammunition was a mixed bunch of ammunition, but significant, and had been placed in the Sheriff's Office Armory for a short time. But Sheriff Wright then had it loaded into his truck by deputies from the Armory, and Sheriff Wright left the office with the ammo. There are apparently other occasions where items, for instance, kitchen appliance type products, were received from this same local company and then taken by the sheriff and other sheriff's office employees for their personal use. Email evidence also shows that in 2014, the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office posted bid requirements for a supplier. 3 companies bid on this contract. A very experienced company came in significantly cheaper than the other 2, one of which was local. But the sheriff made the decision to stay with the local company that had had the business in the past, despite experiencing poor service from this vendor. I myself worked at the sheriff's office during this time and was surprised when the sheriff chose to remain with the problematic vendor who had had the business in the past instead of trying a different, more cost-effective company. There were a series of emails on the jump drive that questioned why the higher bidder was awarded the contract. Yet sometime before or after the contract was awarded, Sheriff Wright received an item from the contract-winning company at no charge, which had had an approximate value of around $400. Another email on the jump drive is titled Badge for DODI. I questioned this and found out that it was in reference to the purchase of a customized special deputy badge for an individual. It was later determined that the special deputy badge was purchased for the person who pays the sheriff's entry fee to play as an amateur in the BMW Charity Pro-Am golf tournament. This is not the only instance where Sheriff Wright has given special deputy badges to citizens. Several are personalized and customized, all on the taxpayer dollar. Not even the deputies have customized badges, only the special friends. The jump drive even contained photographs of some of these questionable gifts. In addition, the sheriff does not appear to have even reported the acceptance of these $5,000 a year golf tournament entry fees or the gifts a player receives for playing the tournament to the South Carolina's Ethics Commission. And entry fees are not the only instance of accepting high monetary favors, which the sheriff appears to have accepted. Other information includes the use of a vendor's beach home by some members of the sheriff's office for their own families and personal use. I want to make a few things perfectly clear. First, although the sheriff, some of his staff, have been participating in unethical behavior, the rest of the deputies and staff at the sheriff's office are not involved. Let me reiterate. It appears only a very few are involved with this unacceptable behavior. The overwhelming majority of the deputies at the sheriff's office have no involvement in this unacceptable behavior whatsoever. They are good, law-abiding men and women, deputies, and I'll be proud to lead them as their sheriff. Secondly, many people, both inside and outside the sheriff's office, are aware that the sheriff is somewhat gratuity-driven and has suspected some unethical behavior going on for years. This is one of the reasons that I retired from my 27 years in law enforcement career and decided to run for sheriff, because I knew things weren't right and thought and know I can do a better job leading that department. But never, not once, during my employment at Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office was I ever asked to cover up for the sheriff or participate in any unethical behavior. The deputies know this is not in my character. I have integrity and a strong sense of propriety and would never have been approached to do anything underhanded or inappropriate. And thirdly, I am truly sorry that the sheriff has tarnished the image of the sheriff's office and is bringing all this bad press into the good men and women who work there. I know a lot of people want to blame me for bringing this to the public's attention, as if it was my fault, rather than putting the blame on the man who is actually participating in these unethical behaviors. Sheriff Wright is the one at fault. Lastly, I'm sorry that the sheriff has lied to all of you. I'm sorry that he has violated your trust. I know this upsets and hurts a lot of people who have supported it. The sheriff has acted one way in public and another in private. He spends the taxpayers' money like it's his own, tricking out his truck, living large, while operating a food pantry for his employees. It is enough of this. These ordinances, ethics laws, and procurement procedures are in place for multiple reasons. Primarily in order to protect the taxpayers' money, property, and the integrity of our government. They are intended to keep our system fair and not allowing some vendors to have advantage over others. And not that we should need laws to keep our government offices and officials honest, but it's obvious we do. Instances such as these destroy the public's trust in our appointed and elected officials and our county government. The law enforcement profession has enough problems with public trust as it is. These types of incidents just multiplies the problem beyond belief. This kind of situation creates an atmosphere that can make law enforcement drop or reduce charges on some but not others, maybe like traffic tickets, DUIs, or other alcohol-related charges. Who knows? I know this is hard to swallow for many. The citizens has seen his public image as being a very popular one. I understand that. This news can and will hurt a lot of people's feelings and make them feel very disappointed and violated. I am sorry to be the one to deliver this news to all of you, but it must be said. The sheriff has taken advantage of the people of Spartanburg County, and it is time for it to stop. The people of Spartanburg County deserve a law-abiding leader, not a man who works within the shadows and gray areas of the law. The sheriff has been corrupted by the power of his own office, and his character wasn't strong enough to handle it. And the most damning proof will be his own inability to deny any of these things I have stated here. It is time for a new course for Spartanburg County. I appreciate your support and your vote on November the 8th. Thank you for following my campaign.